So I missed out on using this product for years because I had some incorrect assumptions about it. So I feel like I have a duty not only to myself, but to you guys to do an in-depth review after taking this thing on a goat hunt and having every assumption that I previously had about this product proved wrong. This is the Mountain Stick 4.1 from MTN Gear. So first off, I'm gonna start by telling you what I thought about this product prior to using it. Number one, everybody has seen the Black Diamond Whippet, illustrated here. Now what I thought Matt from MTN Gear had originally done is just basically take kind of an ice axe head and put it on a regular trekking pole. But for comparison, here's the new Iceline trekking pole from Durston. Review incoming, by the way. For comparison, for diameter, I would say, just guessing, this is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. This has got to be closer to 2 inches, way over 1.5 inches, maybe even more than 2 inches. But anyways, these two poles are not even comparable in the same league as far as how robust and how sturdy they are based on diameter alone. So there's assumption number one. This is not a trekking pole with an ice axe head on it. Assumption number two, you need 2 trekking poles for stability while going up and down in the mountains. And I needed something that I could grip with a handle. That was my assumption. After using this thing in the field for an entire goat hunt in extremely technical terrain, going in loaded and coming out not only loaded with camp, but an entire goat split between me and my hunting partner, I can tell you that not only are you stable with just one pole or one mountain stick, I don't even want to call this a trekking pole because I feel like it doesn't do it justice to call it a trekking pole. It's like in the same family, but it's a completely different product. What I found was, what I did most often, I treated this thing like a pommel grip. So I would put my hand on top of it like this, and then I could place all my weight on it. I'll shrink it up a little bit so you guys can see better. I would place all my weight on it. I could use one hand, I could use 2 hands. This strap here, you put this around your wrist. When I got into a situation where I needed to climb, I could literally just drop this, use both hands to do whatever I needed to do, and then put this back in my hand with the pommel grip again. When you are gripping trekking poles, basically perpendicular to the line of force. So you are placing your force downward toward the ground and you're gripping perpendicular. So the ability to transfer force to the trekking pole is limited by your grip strength. So the harder that you push down, the more grip strength you need to keep up. Which is why, even when you got the strap on, what I tend to do a lot is take my hand and again, use it like a pommel, because then I am applying force in a perfectly straight line through the device and I'm not limited by my grip strength. So what I noticed with the Mountain Stick is that I was able to put a lot more weight on the actual trekking pole and I was able to transfer the force that I wanted to apply in a downward or upward facing direction much more efficiently than if I was gripping it as a standard handle. So this tip here is aircraft grade aluminum, and then there's a carbide tip on it here. Now, one of the most challenging things when hunting in goat country isn't the shale faces. Those are fine. You can get toe holds on those all day. It's not the rough, craggy faces. That's fine. You got toe holds on those all day and hand holds. It's these kind of smooth, I don't know if it's clay or if it's just baked earth, but it's like these really smooth faces that there's no give to at all. And the problem is, once your feet start to slide on those, there's no purchase and you're gone if your footing lets go. What I found with this aluminum carbide tip, I could literally reach out in front of me and like chip out just little crescents in the dirt, and that would be enough for me to get my toe in. I would do another step, I would chip another thing. I haven't had the ability to do that with a trekking pole yet. I'd like to experiment with it, but that was a major improvement with this over my previous trekking poles that I've used in the past. Okay, we've talked a lot about going down and not falling down, but what about going up? That's where both of these hooks really shine. So you have the ability when you're climbing up, and again, your hand is in this strap. You can tighten this up as much as you want. But when you're going up, if you're in any type of vegetation, if you're in soft earth as you're going up, you can axe into the earth and pull yourself up. Or if there's a bunch of roots or like small sapling, like you're climbing up through that dog hair stuff, you can actually go up and like catch one of the roots or one of the trees and like pull yourself up as you continue to climb. And you always have the hook in one hand and your hand in the other. I used this several times. It was phenomenally useful. Now again, with the ice axe, this helps any type of like emergency descent. If you're sliding down the hill, you can kind of like chop this into the ground behind you. There was a couple times we had to go up snow patches. You can chop it into it just like you would with a traditional ice axe. Now let's talk about digging. And I know this is the one that nobody wants to talk about, but we all should talk about. Phenomenal at digging poop holes. So you're up on top, there's not a lot of cover up there. The last thing you want to do is have your buddy come walking up behind you and come across a big exposed poop. It's just a rude thing to do. I found this kind of back blade here, even in the harder ground. I could dig myself a nice little hole, drop a number 2 in it, cover it up. It was super handy, super quick. Second thing is for water. So a lot of times when you're up on top, you'll get these really slow seeps or you'll get a really slow trickle. It's not deep enough to actually stick your filter in to get any water out of or scoop your Nalgene in to get any water out of. But with the ice axe and the little shovel here at the back, you could kind of dig yourself a little trench or dig into the seep, create a little hole, and then that would fill up with water, and then you could get your drinking water out of there. You can use it to dig a trench around your tent. So if you're expecting a lot of rain or it starts raining in the middle of the hunt, you don't have an ideal tent placement, 10 or 15 minutes, you got a beautiful little trench. Also, you can dig snow in order to melt. I did this several times in the hunt. I've got a 6-liter MSR dromedary light water bladder. I would dig up a bunch of snow, kind of hand shovel the snow into the bladder, and then I would lay the bladder out in the sun. In 2-3 hours, I would have 6 liters of perfectly clean, perfectly beautiful drinking water. Also, the other thing that we did on the goat hunt is we actually buried our meat in the snow. So I dug 2 big holes with the back shovel attachment, and then we put the meat in game bags and then put those game bags inside garbage bags, put the garbage bags in the snow, and then shoveled the snow back on top of them. We could have sat there for a month and that meat would have held up. The other beautiful attachment is this pick rail attachment here. So there is essentially a depressible button here, and you can slide in the pick rail of your gun. I knew keeping this Tikka stock after I upgraded to the rock stock was gonna come in handy, so I'll show you. So, extend your pole. Let's say you're taking a seated shot or you're sitting on the edge of a little cliff and you're gonna shoot downhill. You just you've got your pick rail here at the front of your rifle. This is the Hunter rail from Salmon River Solutions. Strongly recommend this if you want the ability to go pick and ARCA. Really nice rail, super lightweight, very durable. Basically, you just put this at the front of your gun, you slide it in, it depresses the little thing. It is remarkably stable. And you can line up, take your shot, and to take it out, you just basically hold your stock, pull it off the end, the little ball inside depresses, Bob's your uncle. Finally, one last attachment. So it comes with this saw attachment, and you can actually replace this with a multitude of replaceable blades. You get them at like Home Depot, Canadian Tire, whatever. You just take out these 2 screws. So you take your Allen key, you put it in this Allen nut bolt. You just give it a couple of twists. You don't need to take it all the way out. This second pin here, you depress, and then basically you just lift this up, and it's got this hook here that slides in to this Allen bolt. You take your saw, slide it into place, take your little depressible pin, and then there you go. you're ready to go, saw through whatever you want. And then to take it off, exact same process in reverse. Loosen the Allen bolt a little bit. You depress the pin. Slide this out. Take your attachment, hook it back on. Bring your pin back up. You'll hear a little click. You take your Allen key, and again, you just give this like, you know, a twist or so and a half, and you'll feel it. It's this last kind of quarter turn, good enough, and then everything is back in and snug. Now, as far as material goes, the head and the ground tip is produced from 7075 T6 aluminum. As I already mentioned, the ground tip also includes a carbide tip. Matt is also developing a snow shovel attachment that goes on the head of this. And the pick and axe attachments are machined from high quality Scandinavian stainless steel that is approximately twice the strength of standard steel. And both these poles are made out of carbon fiber. So the regular length pole goes from 57.5 to 99.5 centimeters and weighs 562 grams. The long pole goes from 67.5 to 119.5 centimeters and weighs 596 grams. So basically, I'm 6'1", 120 centimeters is more than enough, especially because you tend to be using a pommel grip. So that's it at its longest. If I just stand up beside, comes kind of up to my mid stomach. There's no way I would need it that high. I typically use it right around here. The other thing that I really liked is it's super easy to adjust on the fly. So let's say you're walking along a ridge line, but then you have to traverse across a side slope with a bunch of shale. I always like having my support pole on the downhill side. So if I'm walking at it at hip height, but then the ground dips away, it literally takes 2 seconds, twist, extend, twist, and then you've got a longer pole for your downhill side. Okay, so there's all the upsides. What are the downsides? This is not the most comfortable grip in the world. You basically have a few options. Number one, wear a thin glove like a mechanic's glove, and the little sharp edges won't bite into your hand at all. Works super well. Number two, I've got that stretchy foam or form tape that I use that you buy it on Amazon. It's like $2 a roll. Put it on your tripod legs and stuff. You can kind of build yourself a little handle out of that tape. That works extraordinarily well. And finally, I'm actually working with Tanner from MTN Gear right now to develop a leather pommel almost holster that will essentially wrap over the top of this and then close with like 2 snap enclosures. So when I'm walking, I have a really nice leather handle, but then if I want to dig and I don't want to destroy the leather, I just take off the 2 snaps, slide the sleeve off, use the pole for whatever I want, and put it back on. So that's a bit of a drawback. That's something you definitely need to pay attention to. Second drawback, it is not cheap. One of these poles is $300 US. Now you get what you pay for. It's extremely well constructed, but that is not cheap and probably out of the price range of some people. And finally, it's heavy. Like I said, this is the long version. This is 596 grams, which is about, just over 1.5 pounds. If you take these ice line poles from Durston, 2 of these together is 268 grams or just over 9 ounces. So you basically have half a pound for 2 of these, or 1.5 pounds for 1 of these. But I want to say again, I'm using the trekking pole as an analogy because they're 2 devices that basically offer you the same types of solutions, or they provide different solutions to the same problem. But I want to try and get your mind away from thinking of this as just a trekking pole, because it's so much more. The last thing I want to touch on is the kind of intangible benefit of walking around the mountains with something that I came to refer to as my battle axe. You feel so gangster. It's so sturdy, it's so beefy, your hand feels so good on it. It's fun to walk around the mountains with this thing and chip into stuff and pull yourself up and cut out little toe holds. I've always felt like my trekking poles were kind of a pain in the ass until the moment when I really needed them. I was walking around with the mountain stick all the time. It was like this cool cane that had all this functionality to it. And so there's this kind of gangster cool factor to having this battle axe-like device instead of these like flimsy little trekking poles that don't really do a whole lot for you except when you need them, going up and down steep pitches. All right, folks, there you have it. That is my review of the Mountain Stick 4.1 from MTN Gear. If you have some experience with this product, are there other, supplementary products that people are using instead of trekking poles? Drop a note in the comment section below. If you can engage with this content in any way, shape, or form, I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, thank you for tuning in.